Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Belle Collective. This is season 5, according to OWN, episode 8, and it is the season finale. And yes, I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you for your support, and you can support even more by liking this video. And if you are not subscribed, you are welcome to subscribe to this channel, and you can leave your comments below. Let's get into this episode because I have some thoughts. Okay, so we start this episode off at Taste. Taste is 24 hours from having its soft little launch, and things aren't going the way it's supposed to be. A lot of times you see on reality shows where things just look like it's so chaotic, we don't really know what's happening, but I think here it was really chaotic. I think it was like real. I think sometimes it can be stereotypical and you don't really know if it's real or not as far as what's happening. But as far as, oh, I'm so frantic, I don't know if this is going to be pulled off or not. This one was real. The marquee sign that's supposed to go out in front of Taste was way too big. They ordered it one size, and we're finding out, I guess, the one that was trying to sell the sign to them, or who was making and selling the sign, was trying to upsell them to buy this $800 sign, and they said they didn't really need it. We need this other type of sign. Well, that sign ended up coming. Cliff is pissed. Latrice is pissed. And Cliff says, I'm not paying for it. Then you hear in Latrice's confessional, well, you know, that's on him. You know, I don't know anything about any measurements. I don't know anything from 1 inch to 5 inch, but you do hair, Latrice. Just saying. You know about inches. Let's see. All right, so Selena pops by because, of course, she's going to be the bar manager. We get in there, and we find out that the restaurant bar doesn't have a sink, does not have a dishwasher, and no liquor. And all I could think about, and this is the person that's going to catch strays, or people that are going to catch strays, Candy and the gang. Remember, they didn't have no generator as the electricity goes out, and they didn't even have any type of motivation to get one. And then we saw the other problems. So Candy and Todd, y'all catching the stray, but I had to use you as an example. All love over here though. And I love that show. Bring it back. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I'm like, well, how are you going to serve food? How are you going to pass an inspection, Latrice? Especially with the event is going to be happening in 24 hours. How can you do that? Now, it can be easy if you've already bought the sink and you bought the dishwasher and you need somebody to install it. I think that's probably your hardest part if you've done that, but we don't know that. Liquor is going to be very much harder to get. Trying to get a vendor to send you alcohol, I mean, you gotta, look, I used to order groceries for different grocery stores that I worked at. And even there, you just can't pop up and say, I want alcohol today. It's not going to happen. You don't know wherever the vendors are, if you're on route, on if they can get anything to you. I don't know. It may be limited, but that's quite poor planning, in my opinion, especially if you're going to have a bar and you're going to open it. I think Latrice needs a business manager or a COO to handle a lot of her business. And both of them, her and Cliff, have got to let these people do their jobs. Yes, you're the CEOs. Never not be the HIBs in charge, you know? Never not do that. But y'all need to step away. Y'all clash a lot and all this stuff, and you just need someone in there. You tell them what to do. They give their feedback also. They're not some type of silent employee for you all. Let somebody manage this stuff because it's a lot on y'all. Selena, she's giving a little sample as to what she can do as far as drinks, and she's giving signature drinks. I think, Selena, where are your signature drink line? Or, I'm saying line, but I don't know what to call it, so that's why I said business on social media. Like, why aren't you doing that? I think that would be cool to have something. And right now I see you're probably contracted with a Taste, but you could be going around doing bartending events when people need parties or whatever, and sell your own stuff and also do your own things. I think that there's a lot of talent in you, and hopefully you will be using it. The next scene is Marie. Marie goes to church. And the church didn't fall. Her children come. Of course, we know the daughter. We know Jerez. Many don't know the other two sons. I know of one other son. I don't know where the other son came from. I remember season 1, there was another son. Just take a look at this photo right here. Now, to me, I don't know who is who. I think the one in the white shirt is Marie's son because she looks just like him. I don't know where this other child came from. I'm wondering if he's blood or not, and maybe they took him in. But I do remember another son because when they were trying to get Jerez under control after punching out walls and stuff, and I think they wanted him to be some type of, to hang out with his younger brother or be an example and all that, and he wasn't, and all that stuff because of what he was doing. I remember it. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. But anyways, so they're there to talk about their trauma. There is a level of trauma that could happen even though none of you guys were there to be shot or to be shot at. Police have no clue of nothing. Even though it's supposed to be a gated community. We see on camera of these two men pow-powing. And you mean to tell me that there's no other camera within this gated community that they did not see or have any glimpses of who these people are, even if you can't identify them, you know? If Jerez has gone to school, I don't know where the other children are. If there had to be a setup of something. Somebody knows something. And I think it sounds either gang related, even though we don't know anything. Since we don't know nothing, or drug related. And that could be intermingling with the mom or even these children that we have not really seen on our screens to know what they got going on. I'm just saying. So she's going to get baptized. She got baptized as a child because her grandmother told her to. I am one of those people that were just told you need to get baptized. I didn't know what it was for, not for real. I was taught later on in life what it really was. I have not as of yet, but I do want to get re-baptized for my own sake, and now that I have meaning as to what it is. People said that if you don't get baptized, then you can't get into heaven, and that's a lie. Because it's really your commitment to God and to Jesus Christ. It's really your commitment. That's really what that sign really is. But I didn't know what it was. I was just told you need to do this. So, whatever. She's going to do this. She wants a new rebirth. I'm going to say this. I don't know. I'll let it go for now. So we're at Letitia and Glenn's home because I see mostly everything looking bare. But I'm seeing like maybe painting or something, but it looks like a new refrigerator and all this stuff. I don't know if this is the home that they're trying to get out there to sell or rent or whatever they were doing at the beginning of the season. Who knows? But it looks bare, in my opinion. But y'all can have your own opinion and let me know in the comments. So she's cooking some type of meat that's very bloody. We see her, I guess, frying corn, and something is in the pot. Glenn comes in. He's been out with Joshua, throwing the football around. And it felt so typical Stepford wife, June Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver type thing going on right there. You know, Letitia's kind of humbled herself more to be a wife by cooking at home and all this stuff. Glenn had some critiques like, oh, he wants his pork chop to be crispy. I don't know if it's going to be crispy with all that oil like that. I'm just saying, but whatever. But y'all take a few moments to look at this finished product. So there was something green on the plate. Thank God, thank God, thank God. But I was like, because I was like, is everything gonna be fried? Okay. But of course, my mom was always like, you gotta have something green on your plate. So that's how I grew up. Anyway, so Letitia is now trying to help Glenn get boosted and started into his entrepreneurial career. He doesn't take it too well, and how I feel about it is that he's very intimidated by his wife, jealous of his wife, does not want to hear from his wife about business. Basically, it seems like he wants her to be a mattress and a mule, And that's how it is. She's giving him all these documents, how to start your business. She said that she's helped other people start their business. I think you just coached people, but whatever. Glenn thinks that Letitia's moving too fast. And Letitia says, you're moving too slow. I guess I'm assuming the Pearsons have a good savings. If he could just quit like that. And now you want to move slow. Like, how you going to move slow? After you quit your job and you're trying to be this entrepreneur, it's not going to boom right away. Especially when you planned nothing. So I guess they got good savings or whatever. He feels like a child when Letitia's trying to instruct him in how to do stuff. And you can tell that his comprehension isn't that well. So it looks like you're going to be running another business, Letitia, for him. Then he was talking about, you ever thought about getting your brokerage license? And she was like, for what? Oh, so you want me to book your truck bookings? She's like, yeah, that'll work well. You're a female. Let me say this much. Trucking is a male-dominated environment, trade, if you want to call it that. Having Letitia as someone who's going to be booking all of this stuff for you, that's not an advantage. No men are going to do whatever they can to walk all over her. I'm not saying that Letitia's not fit for it and all that, but that is another system where women are not respected. And I think y'all got to get out of this. There are ways that females have a better way to sway people, they influence people, I'll say that much. But in this field, no. Like, I'm sure Letitia's going to have to cut some people out if she's going to do this job. I watched this other reality show. It's on YouTube. It's called First Ladies Afraid. I did review it. They had I forgot how many episodes they had, but it's a little bit. But if you go back through my playlist, I think it's a playlist. But back in early part of this year, I think spring of earlier part this year. But if not, I'll make a new playlist of it. But I was speaking to the one that's really handling all of this freight and having government contracts for trucking companies and all that good stuff. So no, it's like a bunch of women that have come together who are now making impact in the trucking business. But just saying that Letitia, who's female, is going to be able to just run circles around these folks, no, that's not going to happen. So you have no idea what you're really getting into. What's your name? Glenn. It's good to have dreams. I'm glad you have dreams. I think you do need to stop being a turtle, putting around. But Letitia, he don't respect you. He wants you ready for his D to insert into you, take care of his child, wash his clothes, and cook his meals. That's all he wants from you. So they start talking about the birthday. Honestly, I get where the men are coming from. It's just Glenn's gonna have the birthday party after everything, so who really cares? I think Latrice was feeling the stress. Okay, so you want to plan something else? I'm trying to kick this off. Like, why are you giving him all this? But it potentially could have gave you more business as far as with Glenn's birthday party, but hey, it didn't happen. I don't know what happened actually. Okay, so it's Marie's baptism. Letitia and Sophia, they show up, and cousin Nettie Mae, and her father showed up. They had church service, and it looked very bare in there. So the children showed up for counseling, which was cool, but only her daughter was at the baptism. Why aren't the other boys there? It's a Sunday. I'm sure it's a Sunday. So, they did the whole baptism thing, and she dipped in the water. I am surprised that they didn't have a head wrap for her or some type of swim cap, but she did it, and she messed up all her waves. It might be cute to kind of see if Marie with like a slick down or something, a little bit different from the waves. I just want to see her in a different hairstyle with the short cut. What do y'all think? Just to do something like Halle Berry or something. I'd like to see something else just to see how it is. I like the waves. So Sophia said, looking at you, I'm thinking about getting a baptism because she says that she was sprinkled. The only people that I know, and there could be more other religious organizations that do this, I know Catholics sprinkle you, to my knowledge. I don't know who else does, but cool. Of course, Nettie showed up. Nettie said that she wasn't going to tell her that she was coming up, but I just want to let her know that I'm going to be here for her, even though she asked you to come to the ribbon cutting. Whatever. Just some things I'm like, I gotta just do it whatever because y'all too contradictory for me. So now it's the Goddess Links showing or grand reopening for Goddess Links 2.0. Latrice said in her confessional, she said everything has to go to plan because if anything is a problem, I'm going to be a problem. I said I know that's right. I'm going to be a problem. I'm going to use that from now on. Look, don't start with me, or I'm going to be a problem. Mayor Shakwe, with his handsome self, he's there to give her something as an award for doing this and all that. They do the ribbon cutting. What's her name? Tamara. She is the host and she's doing a very good job. And I also get to see my girl Melody. Melody is missed on this show. If you watched in the earlier seasons, she was great television to me. She was a great face reactor, and I wish she was back on the show a whole lot more. But I'm glad that she showed up for Latrice. So sometime later, Sophia and JJ, they show up. They show up in this old time Cadillac, I think it was. I liked it. But I'm just trying to figure out what was all this for. Take a look. Why do you need your own special red carpet? Now, was that happening for everyone that pulled up? Because I'm like, what is going on? Why y'all acting like this is y'all's thing? That's how it appeared. So I'm giving you some leniency and hopefully somebody can clear that up. Like, what the mess? That is so crazy to me. We had Stormy and Courtney. They came down from Huntsville, and also Nell came down. I am so glad that the Huntsville people are making the rounds to the other shows. And people aren't going to acknowledge this, but I am. Ashley from DC is the one that kicked off everything from what I saw as getting to know the other people on the shows. She was showing up to their premieres and stuff like that. She connected and started a relationship with others, and she's been vacationing and all that. Now everyone has jumped on the gravy train of doing that. And that was with Detroit too. So I thought that was really cool. I was going to say something, but I'm not. It was Huntsville related because, I mean, for someone being the queen, I think that the queen should have been the one that offered herself. I mean, you guys are the main show, and y'all should be showing the example, but you got other people running circles around you. That's how I feel. So Akeisha and Willie, they showed up 3 hours late. I'm like, what? Why were they late? Like, I understand that Willie and Cliff have something against each other, but I didn't know that Latrice and Akeisha had anything against one another. So it was kind of, I know it was a dual honoring. You had to honor both Latrice and Cliff, but it's like, what did Latrice do to you? That's the only thing that was bothering me when I was hearing their confessional. I'm showing up here, da 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 da. I was like, that's puzzling to me. Then they walk over to Taste. They get in there, and then all of a sudden Glenn shows up in one of your, like in a shirt that you would buy from Maxie's. If y'all have not heard of that store, fine. It's a hair store / you can get some dress clothes and some shorts, short sets and things of that nature in that type of store. It's a black store, you know, all that good stuff. So he came up in that shirt and all that good stuff. He thought he was looking good, and he's cool. Good. He made his entrance. Why weren't you there for Goddess Links? There's just things that I'm looking at, and they're trying to act like, people are trying to act like they're better than one another. But it's like, y'all don't be showing up for people like y'all say y'all do. Y'all show up late and all this good stuff, and I don't appreciate that as a viewer. But whatever. So Glenn comes over to the group that's sitting down. Willie is the first person that's right by him as he has to come in to sit down with on the table there. Willie extends his hand and says, "Happy birthday," and Glenn sideswipes him. And then Willie was like, "Really? You come over here with that $5 shirt? Like, you started something that had nothing, that you didn't have to, Glenn, and that doesn't make sense to me." He was saying happy birthday to you. You could have shook his hand, you could have fist bumped, you could have said thank you and moved on. Then you got by Cliff, and then y'all started saying stuff under your breath. You started saying stuff about Akeisha that I did not like. Why were you bringing her into this thing? He said, that man's in competition with you. That's what Cliff is saying to Glenn, competition of what? What? List what Glenn got and list what Willie's got. Then he says, you got a hot young wife, and he's got Akeisha. I said, really, Cliff? I'm not going to go into her look. I'm going to hold what I got to say. If this reunion, if Letitia acts a fool, I'm going to act a fool in my reviews. Let's just say it this way. But this is what I will say. Cliff, Glenn got a hot young wife. Yet Willie has a wife. Akeisha's got a husband that's not embarrassing her on national TV, trying to figure out if they're the father of the baby because he was cheating on her. What do you mean? Because all I see is y'all are jealous of them. You're only mad because he didn't like your dumb rap. And I mean to be this mean, if it's mean or whatever. Your raps suck. Your rapping career sucks. Only your groupie of a wife was cheering you on and crying. This ain't for you. This ain't for you. And you've been mad at him ever since. And now you said that they're too uppity. That is so crazy. But y'all brought Akeisha into this and they asked, what are y'all mumbling under your breath? Obviously they heard what they said. But they were too chicken and punk to actually say what they actually said, which I think is quite crazy. Yeah, because they were like, well, I'm trying to find out what you said. And they said, I'm trying to figure out, who did your hair? Willie's got dreads. He put it in a bun. A lot of men do that. He didn't have... But they don't knock on JJ and all of his ponytails and barrettes he puts up in his hair. I'm just saying. All the bedazzleness that he puts up in there. So they're going back and forth. Willie calls Glenn's shirt with that shirt on, like, you're looking like a broke magician. Willie is able to Jones. Those two are not. They go straight to trying to effeminize the man, Willie. That's what they've been doing for episodes. I'm finding out that Cliff does not dislike Willie. He's only disliking Willie because of Glenn in his way to back him up. It got pretty heated. Akeisha spoke up because she's like, you're not going to sit up here and just say all this stuff about my man and about me and all that. Anything else said? Yeah, Cliff's just giving his payback on behalf of Glenn. He doesn't have a reason to dislike Willie or whatever. It started getting heated. They getting up. First, Cliff gets up, not in his face, but to stand up to say, I do not like Willie. Because they say stuff under their breath. They aren't about it like they act like they do. Somehow, Willie's just getting tired of all the stuff that's going on. Willie gets up. I see Glenn getting up, and Akeisha saying stuff. Then Letitia wants to say stuff, and Letitia was ready to fight Akeisha, and Akeisha said, "Come on, then." So the end result is nobody got hurt. It was a tussling. Nobody got touched. The security guards were there and backed up Glendale. Glendale acting like he was really going to do something to Willie, and you wouldn't have. But Cliff and Glenn, y'all some punks. Y'all came at him for that little bit of stuff that's going on in the confessional. That stuff you can just hash out, Jones each other, and move on. There was nothing to dislike. Whatever. Akeisha's upset. She's upset with Cliff and Letitia. Or Latrice. They got separated and they left. The following day, both Latrice and... was it Latrice and Cliff? And then Akeisha and Willie. Really, Akeisha wants nothing to do with Latrice and Cliff, nor Letitia and Glenn. And Latrice said that Akeisha's dead to her. And I'm trying to figure out what the crap is really going on. There is some behind the scenes tea that I did hear. You can go to Scotty by Nature's TV channel. He knows about it. He knew about it before the season began, about the whole fight. Obviously, there were some people that was on Akeisha's family that was there, and they had pow-pows. From what I remember, I still got to listen to his review. What's going on is that they feel like it was a setup from the beginning, and they were coming there to start something, even with all the pow-pows they had. But what drove them there? That's the only thing that's quite cryptic. Like, what would make them think that they got to come here to defend with guns? Willie's got 2 arms. Willie don't need no backup. I don't think so. So I don't know. I didn't want to. Letitia and Latrice had a live last night. I didn't want to listen to it, and I love Latrice. But now you go and get back into a pack with this other heifer that been doing you wrong all season, last season. And when Letitia and Latrice, they met up, and basically she said, look, Akeisha's out of this group. I said, you've been looking for some type of way to get Akeisha out of this group. You're saying that Akeisha's in competition, but guess what? Akeisha can run circles around you. She's completed more things in the, 2-3 seasons that she's been here than you have. You're renting out a building. You're wearing tight clothes. You still ain't fixed your wigs. You ain't accomplished much. Your husband quit his job and is jealous of you and really hates that you do all this and wants you as a stepper wife. What have you done on this show besides trying? Look, you want to kick somebody out the group. Hey, you're not in charge of contracts. You're not in charge of people's paychecks. And two, if anybody should be kicked out of this group, is you and Marie for bringing a stalker, a terrorizer of another woman around, re-traumatizing her. That's not sisterhood. That's not womanhood. That's not a Belle. You two should be going first before you try to kick somebody else out the group. How dare y'all? So I do believe what Sky by Nature has said. He said he didn't get that from the cast. He knows people in that area. He lives a hop, jump, and skip away from that Jackson area right there. So, or he did live, but that's where he was. He knows people. Let's just say that much. So I just don't know the motive of Akeisha's family. I just don't think that they came there to start mess and to be a mess. I think stuff just went down and it happened that way. But Latrice, I don't know why you are sticking neck to neck to this woman who didn't care about you and tried to isolate you out of the group last year. That's all I do have. Y'all give me your comments below. I've talked way too much this video. But there's a lot of things I want to say, and I'm probably going to say more when this reunion kicks off. It just depends on who pisses me off and what I want to say. Because I'm still being nice in what I've been saying. And I've been quite nice during this whole season. And I've been wanting to say stuff. I would never link back up with this girl again. Not in that way. And don't say you did. It's just like an enemy of my enemy is my friend, basically. Is how you're acting, Latrice, and I don't like that. But anyways, I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video. Also, subscribe if you're new. And please drop your comments below and tell me what you guys think. Until the next episode, peace.